first of all, what does it take to get certified to be an appraiser that can do work for Supreme, who ultimately, of course, is selling loans to Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, and VA? What does it take, Scott?
It's a long process. There's a 2 to 3 year mentoring program just to get to that certified level, and then a number of years of experience to really feel competent in that market.
Yeah, so it's a 2 or 3 years, and that's kind of because the mandate by the regulatory apparatus on all of us requires a certain amount of professional work to have been done underneath a certified appraiser. And that work just takes time, a little bit like being a pilot, right? I mean, you just have to get so many hours before you can actually be the pilot. So when this whole event unfolded in the last, really roughly right since COVID started, where rates went to historic lows and we had demand for purchases and then demand for refinances went to an all-time high, we couldn't just make new appraisers, like add water and stir and we have a new appraiser. It doesn't work that way. And
No.
So you have a fixed number of appraisers who've got capacity limitations. They can only do so many, and argue it's more complex to do them today. And we'll get you into the details of that in a minute. So that has led to a number of different issues. And I'm going to talk about those when we get to it here today. The two things we really want to talk about is speed and turnaround and valuations. And so who is the appraiser accountable to, Scott?
Well, we're accountable to the lender, our client. We're accountable to the state that holds our license. So there are a number of entities that are looking over and reviewing every single appraisal.
Yeah. So when you say you're accountable back to the lender, just so the audience understands, we ultimately approve an appraisal list, a group of appraisers based on their professional certifications and their experience. We do that as a lender on behalf of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and FHA. So they hold us, that is Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and FHA, they hold the lender accountable for the quality of work that Scott Murphy, DS Murphy, and all of his associates actually do in the marketplace every day. And so we only hire certified and the very best, because ultimately Fannie Mae, if they don't like the appraisal, they won't buy the loan. And that's a very expensive problem that takes place. So we've got the very best people, and they're accountable to, as Scott shared, they're accountable to the regulatory arms, and then they're accountable back to the lender, and the lender is accountable back to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So there's a complex set of circumstances, and normally all of that works just fine because we're going up and down on appreciation, relatively small numbers moving up or down, if ever down, right? Property values, only one time in my career, I saw them go down materially, and that was the Great Recession. But over the 36 years, it's rare when property values go down. And in fact, today, then Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac argue those entities are probably more interested in the appraisal work than ever. We're all accountable to that standard.